Listen, enough of me. John Frenzy's here. Floor is yours, Lynch, on the CFL-XFL potential merger, collaboration. Will we play this year? Go.
I laughed myself silly because I went all through this with Barry Davies 3 years ago, 92 to 95, with the Americans. You got to watch them. Let's put it that way. You got to watch your wallet. If you go to a big dinner with a bunch of people there, you better expect you're going to pay for it because they conveniently won't have their wallet in this situation. So, I don't know. I was told yesterday when I got all the details, supposedly, that what's going on there is no thoughts about joining together and collaborating, bringing one big league because they're not going to play till 22, by the way, anyway. Dwayne Johnson's not going to play till 22 anyway. So the only thing they want to do is talk with the other league about how to get young people into the game, into the parks, and secondly, and monsterly, I call it a monster, gambling. The NFL is making a fortune off gambling. The minor leagues should be able to get some of that wealth. Well, that makes a lot of sense, I guess, but that's all they're talking about. There's no thought at all about collaborating, getting together. Do you believe that?
Nope.
Either do I. I know what happened back in 91, 92. We're all going crazy about the World Football League was called. For 3 years. First thing the Americans did was say they will not take Canadians on the roster. It had to be, they're going to have an all-American roster. A big advantage for them. Canadian League went along with it. And actually, it worked out pretty good. We did not get murdered in every game. Pretty close games. Had some real good football games, as a matter of fact. Particularly playoff games. In 1994, in BC Place Stadium, the BC,
you were there, the Grey Cup.
I was there, and Baltimore beat BC Lions beat Baltimore on a
last-second field goal.
Yeah, by our friend
Lou Pasaglia.
The next year, Baltimore beat the Calgary Stampeders right here in Saskatchewan, in Regina, and that was the final game of the league. They had so much trouble financing themselves in the States, although they supposedly had owners with extremely deep pockets. Didn't turn out that way, and it was over. Larry Smith came back in again. We reorganized and went back to our old way of league structure, which is in there until now. And I want it to stay that way because I know what can happen if we get in amalgamating. So I hope we get the message across to the people that are thinking about this and talking. No. Oh, it's nice just to hold hands. We're going to hold hands. That's all we're going to do. Talk about how to get the young people into the park and gambling. That's all.
You don't believe this either?
No, I don't believe it. One word answer.
So how do you feel about...
But there's people that do believe it. You know who I'm talking about.
They think we're dumb.
What are you going to say?
And if the CFL actually believes... The way my read on this, and please tell me if I'm completely wrong, is they want to use The Rock, pick his pocket for the CFL's gain, and the CFL really gets nothing out of it. And I'm like, I don't think you CFL Board of Governors are that naive.
No.
I'd like to hope that you're not.
But
history would show maybe you are.
Is there some
And hang on. June Jones goes on Ottawa radio yesterday, and he coached the Houston Roughnecks last year, and he says this is going to end up in full-on merger, 4 downs, and all the rest. So my question to you, Lynch, is when the inevitable happens, which we all expect, and if you don't think it's going to happen, I've got some oceanfront property in Arizona to sell you. When it does happen, will you continue to support the Continental Football League, if that's what it is, and the Saskatchewan Roughriders? Because I will. I think this is awesome.
Only choice we have.
Thank you.
And actually, that World Football League back then was pretty good football. We had some very exciting games. We had a pretty good game here, a pretty good team here in Regina. So it worked out pretty good, except it went broke. I don't know why it went broke. It did. We had a half-assed type of TV contract, partially in Canada, partially in the States. Not much in the States. Not much coverage down there. So it didn't do. And each yearly, 2 or 3 teams were falling apart in the American portion, not in the CFL, except for when Kimball went up to the commissioner in Montreal and gave them the little letter saying the Alouettes are folding in 1996. So we lost a team there. So it was quite an experience. Always something in the news, I'll tell you that. They always had something going on. And that's what happened now. If Dwayne Johnson's involved, you can expect a lot going on. Well, I'll tell you this much, and you know this, Rod. He'll want a lot of control and influence.
Exactly. No, but he's going to do it for free.
Yeah.
Listen, you guys, this is the one thing the CFL, I don't think, really understands. And some specific teams. If it's a partnership, you actually have to give something away.
Yeah.
Okay? Sponsorship might technically be another thing. Give us your money, see you later. It's kind of how it's gone for years, and how's that worked out for you? So a relationship is mutually beneficial. Can you guys look up the definition and show the CFL people this? The Rock needs to get something out of this other than doing it out of the goodness of his heart. Anyways, Claude Taylor writes, he's watching on YouTube. He says, Pedersen, call the president of the Riders and ask him how much money the team has in the bank. Why don't you do that? I don't think I want to know the answer to that question, to be honest with you.
We have speculated in that.
I gave you the floor. I need it back for a bit.
Yeah.
Jeff Kozak says, boy, guess the CFL has looked under every rock. Thanks, Jeff. From Jack Fulton, what I don't understand is why doesn't the CFL just tell us up front what's really going down? It's getting to the point where you can't even believe what they're saying. And by the way, nobody's going to use Dwayne Johnson. Nobody. Well, they seem to think that they will. Oh, and Claude says, regarding me calling the Riders and asking how much money they have in the bank, he says, you know the answer. Yeah, I do know the answer. They don't have any money. They're broke. That's why we are where we are. John Kirby in Edmonton. Randy Ambrosie was on 3 Down Nation podcast, and he said it's not going to be a merger. John in Edmonton, I believe that Randy Ambrosie fully believes that.
Oh, I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does.
He's not a liar.
And he won't be a liar. It'll be somebody else, that executive board, 2 or 3 of them, who are big, wealthy businessmen, will get together and sit with the commissioner and say, thinking about it, I think it's a good idea. We think about it, share the cost, get the network contract in the States. How about that? Both Canada and the States have the big games on. Wouldn't that be wonderful for us? We all need the money. Any source of money we've got to look at seriously. And that's true. They do have.
Well, I know, but look, J-Rod's watching.
Yeah.
Jared Livingstone.
Well, what's he have to say?
He says, I think the Riders need Tom Shepard's lottery back. Well, guess what? They told Tom Shepard, no thanks. Bye-bye, Tom. We don't want your $1 million a year that we don't have to lift our fingers for. Bye-bye, Tom. Beat it.
Tom could help.
Decisions like that.
Tom could help a lot.
Have them where they are now, broke, begging for money, and thinking that they're going to pick the Rock's pocket. It's absurd. But I actually think they believe they can do it. Anyways, we'll come back with Viewer Takeover, Curling Report, and more. We've got the head coach of the Argos coming up, Ryan Dinwiddie. It's a very spicy Flame Tech Football Friday. Flame Tech is your industry leader in combustion services. You're watching the RP Show on Game Plus TV, live daily on YouTube and Facebook, and 24-hour sports talk for Suds Full Service Car Wash at rodpedersen.com. Listen live.
You're watching Rod Pedersen on demand. For more of the Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.